Hello and welcome. So today I have with me the JBL Xtreme 3 going against the Beolit 20 and the Onyx Studio 6. Many of you have requested this sound comparison. So today in this video, I will be comparing all these speakers in terms of features and sound performance and quality to give you all an idea of how they stack up against each other. Okay, so without wasting time, let's begin. So first of all, let's go through all the specifications and features, and then we'll get into the sound test, and then I'll be giving you all my final thoughts about all of these speakers. Please bear in mind, technical specifications don't always translate into everyday use. I'll be throwing links in the description section for you all to check for the most recent prices for any of these speakers. And also take note, prices might vary depending on your region. Starting with the JBL Xtreme 3, it weighs 1.9 kilograms, while the Beolit 20 weighs 2.7 kilograms, while the Onyx Studio 6 weighs 2.9 kilograms. Coming to frequency response range, for the Xtreme 3 you're looking at around 53 Hz to 20 kHz, while for the Beolit 20 you're looking at around 37 Hz to 20 kHz, and then for the Onyx Studio 6 you're looking at around 50 Hz to 20 kHz. Coming to total output power, you are looking at around 50 watts when plugged in for the JBL Xtreme 3, but when using it on battery, you're getting around 40 watts. And then for the Beolit 20, you're getting 70 watts total output power, and then for the Onyx Studio 6, you are getting 50 watts. In terms of build quality, I'll give it to the Beolit 20 here because it uses premium materials like real leather and the metal. Coming to ruggedness, I think I'll give it to the JBL Xtreme 3 as it's the only speaker here with complete water and dust resistance. The Studio 6 comes in second place as it's got IPX water resistance. The IPX rating for the Beolit 20 is not specified, so I'll assume it's not water and dust proof. Coming to connectivity, you're getting Bluetooth 5.1 on the JBL Xtreme 3. On the Beolit 20, you're getting 4.2, same goes for the Onyx Studio 6. There is USB-C charging on the Xtreme 3 and the Beolit 20, but on the Onyx Studio 6 you don't get USB-C charging, it's got a dedicated power port. On the Xtreme 3 and the Beolit 20 you get a 3.5mm port for wired listening, same goes for the Onyx Studio 6. On the JBL Xtreme 3 it has the dedicated USB port for charging devices on the go, so you can use it as a portable power bank. But the Beolit 20 has a unique feature. On the top it has a wireless charging pad for Qi compatible devices, so you can charge them wirelessly. Bear in mind it's only 5 watts. For pairing protocol, you can pair up 100 JBL Xtreme 3 speakers to play same music at same time. You can pair up 2 Beolit 20s to play same music at same time. Same goes for the Onyx Studio 6. The JBL Xtreme 3 and the Onyx Studio 6 are both front-facing speakers, while the Beolit 20 is a 360 degrees omnidirectional speaker, so you can hear it from all angles. Coming to audio codec support, I'll be throwing it on the screen, so feel free to pause the video. Coming to battery life, you are getting 15 hours on the Xtreme 3, and then for the Beolit 20 you're getting around 8 hours, and then same goes for the Onyx Studio 6 as well, it's also 8 hours. As for me, I'll say the Onyx Studio 6 has the poorest battery life here. Once you crank up the Onyx Studio 6 above 50% volume, the battery drains quite quickly. For app support, there is the JBL portable app for the Xtreme 3. There is now a new EQ settings via a software update, which helps you to adjust the treble, the bass and the mids. But bear in mind you cannot adjust individual frequencies, so it's not a multi-band EQ. Same goes for the Beolit 20 as well. You've got an app for setup and sound customization. For the Onyx Studio 6, there is no dedicated app. Now it's time for the sound test, so please put on your headphones as this is going to be a binaural recording. So let's test all these speakers and see how they stack up against each other.
turn us to thousands, and we'll grow in number, fueled by them to see the horizon, turn us to thousands, and on we'll go, through the wastelands, through the highways, through the sun rays, and on we'll go, through the wastelands, through the highways, and on we'll go.
In terms of overall loudness, I'll say the Beolit 20 is the loudest. Second, followed by the JBL Xtreme 3. The JBL Xtreme 3 is not far behind, especially with the EQ settings. Once you crank up the EQ settings, it gets very loud, very close to the Beolit 20. But definitely the Beolit 20 is louder and has more punch at high volumes. While the Onyx Studio 6 is not as loud as the JBL Xtreme 3 and the Beolit 20, so bear that in mind. In terms of bass performance, definitely the Onyx Studio 6 wins here. The Beolit 20 is not far behind, but what I noticed is that it distorts heavily at max volumes. The JBL Xtreme 3 lacks bass when compared to the other speakers here. The JBL Xtreme 3 used to be much worse than what it is now, but with the recent software update, you can crank up bass a little bit on the JBL Xtreme 3. For soundstage, I would definitely give it to the Beolit 20. It has the best soundstage among all the speakers. But the thing is that you have to crank up the Beolit 20 to like 60 to 70% volume to really enjoy that soundstage. Anything below 50% volume, the Beolit sounds pretty quiet. JBL Xtreme 3 comes second in terms of soundstage. It's got 2 tweeters, while the Onyx Studio 6 is the least immersive in terms of soundstage. So that's pretty much it. I hope this video gave you all an idea of how all these speakers stack up against each other. Feel free to check out other videos on this channel. Thanks so much for watching, and I'll talk to you all in the next video. Adios.